Hey everybody, welcome to another video with Matt. Today I'm going to show you how I made this cool seashell sea turtle combo right here, guys. But first you're going to need a few things. Alright guys, so to get started on the day's project, you will need some scrap wood, a template to trace out, a pen or pencil, you'll need a pair of scissors, a jigsaw, wood clamps, tape measure, a sander, a propane torch with a wire brush. You also need a fire extinguisher nearby, need 2 eye hooks, you need fishing line, drill, and small drill bit. And as always guys, safety first. We need protective eyewear, a dust mask, and gloves. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is take our stencil and we're going to place it on a piece of scrap board or new wood if you purchased any, and when you lay it down you might can throw you some tape on the back if you need to, but if you're really skilled you'll be able to just hold it down in place while you trace it and then trace out the design onto the wood right there. As you can see guys right there, it's going to be cool. Alright, so now what we need to do is take our jigsaw and carefully cut out this design, and hopefully it won't do like our last attempt at a sea turtle and split the board down the middle this time guys. So went ahead and put some stress lines in it just to get it closer so it's not trying to cut out so much wood at one time guys. So always take a skill saw or something just to kind of cut your piece down and make it a little easier to cut out. So let's go ahead and get this cut out, then we'll go down to sanding our edges. Alright, so as you can see I went ahead and used one of my wood clamps just to kind of clamp the piece down to make it sturdier for when we do cut it out. So let's go ahead, and I'm not going to show cutting out the whole thing, that might take a little second, but yeah, just to get an idea, you just want to find a nice little spot, say like right here, and then you just want to go and do as much as you can. You don't want to try to turn it too sharp, but yeah, let's go ahead and start cutting and see what we've got looking at. Alright, so that was just one little end cut. So right now it turns really sharp and I don't want to bend my blade out, right? So I can do 2 things right here. I can start from this end and start cutting to that point, and then eventually we can just crisscross through the block for them sharp corners to get so that we can come around our straight lines right here guys. So just take your time when cutting it out and it'll turn out fine, okay? Alright guys, so here we go. We got our piece rough cutout design guys, and what I mean by rough is of course none of the edges are going to be perfect. Come on, it's a jigsaw, we know they're rough. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our sander, we're going to go ahead and sand down all the edges, we're going to sand down the sides right here, and just go with the contours of the shape, right? So let's go ahead and get the sanded going, and we're going to go ahead and make sure we get these little tight areas, maybe with our files, places like in here. So yeah, we're going to get this all nice and smooth up first, then we'll take the torch to it. Alright, so we got it sanded down nice and smooth on all the edges and hit the insides as good as we can. There might be some places I can't quite get into, but we can take some sandpaper with our finger and just rub into those corners. So after you touch it all up, we are ready to torch it down, and then we'll be able to scratch it with a wire brush and give it that cool look guys. So here we go. Alright, so just quickly going to take my torch and we're just going to char this piece on all the front, back sides, and on the sides guys. And you don't want to really set it on fire, but it's okay if it does. It gives it a better kind of look, I think. So here we go. So start at the bottom here and just kind of evenly spread it and work my way up. And like I said, it's okay if it does catch on fire. You're just not really trying to catch it on fire. Alright, so that's that side, right? So what I want to do now is I just want to just make sure I go over it one more quick time. Fill in some of that wood brown because it'll come back guys. The grains will pop back out, so don't worry about that. Alright, so that's one side good with me right there. I'll leave a little at the bottom to show you some different stuff. So now we flip it over. It's not really that hot. Do the same thing on the other side, guys. Just kind of evenly go over the whole piece. And then we'll be ready to take our wire brush to it, guys. So go ahead and get the sides, the back, and all that around. Go ahead and get that charred. Alright guys, so we have charred it all around, as you can see, around all the edges and stuff, and it's starting to get dark on this outside, so we're going to go ahead and wire brush this thing real quick. And all you need is just a simple little wire brush, nothing fancy like that, right? And then just scrape it down just like that, and always go with the wood grain, just like that. And brush out that soot. That's all you're doing. You're not really scratching the wood with a wire brush, and it's smoothing it down nice too, and bringing that grain out. And I'm going to show you right now what I mean. You see how it really brings that grain up to the surface, guys, but it's still nice and smooth at the same time. So go ahead and wire brush the entire piece, from the fronts, the backs, the edges, and like I said, always go with the grain on your front and back of the piece. But on the sides, it doesn't really matter, because your saw blade kind of went ahead and smoothed and warped it out. So just go ahead and get your sides brushed down nice as best as you can, like that. Then we'll need to wipe it down with a paper towel. So go ahead and get all of that soot off of there, guys. Alright, so for the shell part, what I'm going to do is find the nice flat spot in the tip right here and drill a hole through there really slowly, guys. And I mean super slow. That way we don't split the shell or crack it. And we're just going to go really slow until we poke through. That way we can tie a knot in our fishing line. So we'll get that done. Then I'll come down here to this bottom portion and drill a small hole in that. And then I'm going to take my cool little bottom piece right here. Now if you notice, the inside bottom part already kind of has this little hole going for you for your line. I'm going to try my hardest to drill out a hole in the top right here. That way it can hang like that in the setup. So let's go ahead and get those holes drilled out carefully, and then we'll be ready to tie our fishing line together. Alright, so now that we got our holes drilled in our shells, now we need to take our little eye hooks right here, guys. And what we want to do is you want to put one on the top, in the midpoint right here, and you want to put one in the bottom, guys. That way we can tie a piece of string or line from here to one shell, and then tie a piece of line and string to the other shell, guys. So go ahead and find you a good center mark. Like right there would be a great point for your top one right here, and just find the center part right there. And it takes a little bit to get these kinds started right there, but once you get them started, they pretty much just screw right into place. So go ahead and get you one on the top and bottom, guys. Alright guys, so now we've taken our fishing line and we have strung it through our holes, tied them off in little bitty knots. As you can see, this is attached here, this one is attached to this one, and then at the very top of the shell I made a loop single by itself and tied it in a knot. That way it'll give us something to hang from a hook or something. So let's go ahead and stick this up on the porch and see what it looks like. Alright guys, so there you have it. We got it hung up on our porch right here. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to hit that like button down below for me, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always guys, I hope you have a wonderful week. Peace.